The image was, by all accounts, unremarkable. There was no grand balcony, no glittering tiara, no historic treaty being signed. It was a simple photograph, captured at the end of a long day during their 2022 tour of the Caribbean. The Prince and Princess of Wales standing on a tarmac in the fading light, their posture slightly slumped, their faces etched with a profound and shared fatigue. Yet, in that unguarded moment, a silent transmission was sent, a glimpse into the immense emotional burden carried by the modern monarchy and the powerful private partnership that makes it bearable. This was not a staged display of unity, but an authentic emotional moment that spoke volumes about the couple's journey and the evolving identity of the British royal family. To understand the power of that tarmac moment is to move beyond the spectacle of royalty and into its human psyche. Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, represent a unique bridge in the House of Windsor, products of its tumultuous late 20th century history and architects of its 21st century survival. Theirs is a story written not in grand proclamations, but in subtle glances, supportive touches, and the shared weight of a destiny they did not initially choose, but have learned to shoulder together. William's emotional landscape was irrevocably shaped before he was 15. The very public, very painful unraveling of his parents' marriage played out on a global stage, culminating in the seismic loss of his mother, Diana, Princess of Wales, in 1997. The world watched the young prince walk behind his mother's coffin, a model of stoic agony. This was his foundational lesson in royal emotion. It was either entirely private or devastatingly public. The middle ground, the space for healthy, acknowledged, and supported grief, was erased by flashbulbs and global scrutiny. Kate Middleton, meanwhile, entered this fraught narrative as an ostensibly normal outsider. Her upbringing in Bucklebury was one of stable, quiet affection. However, to view her as simply a bastion of uncomplicated normality is to underestimate both her acuity and her own emotional journey. For over a decade, she was scrutinized, mocked as weighty Katie, and subjected to a level of public examination that would fracture most psyches. Her emotional training was not in managing hereditary trauma, but in building an impervious resilience, a calm center amidst a hurricane of speculation. When they finally married in 2011, theirs was a union that promised a normal happiness. But the institution they joined was still reeling. The shadow of Diana, the ghost of suppressed emotion, media warfare, and lonely suffering loomed large. The emotional moment they share today is powerful precisely because it is a conscious departure from that past. It is not a suppression of feeling, but a shared, quiet acknowledgement of it. The power of William and Kate's bond lies in its evident reciprocity. Unlike dynastic marriages of the past built on duty and distance, theirs is visibly a partnership of equals. Observers note their teamwork during engagements, the way William will steer a conversation towards Kate's expertise in early childhood development, the manner in which Kate will gently touch his arm when a topic becomes intense, a silent check-in. This is not protocol. It is the language of a deep, private understanding made public. This was crystallized during their 2022 Caribbean tour, a trip fraught with political tension and protests over the legacy of colonialism. The couple faced a public relations crisis. The imagery of them behind a wire mesh fence in Belize or in a vintage open-top Land Rover in Jamaica felt like uncomfortable echoes of a colonial past. The strain was palpable. And then came the tarmac. In their tired eyes and united front, the public saw not regal detachment, but human beings grappling with the immense complexity of their roles. It was a moment of shared vulnerability, and in that vulnerability lay a new kind of strength. They were not hiding the difficulty, they were enduring it, together. This partnership extends profoundly into their roles as parents. They have deliberately broken the Windsor mold of distant, formal parenthood. William has spoken openly about wanting to create a happier family than his own fractured childhood. Their public outings with George, Charlotte, and Louis are marked by visible, tactile affection, a father's steadying hand, a mother's crouch to eye level.
When Kate, in a raw moment, shared her anxiety about her children starting new schools, she was doing something revolutionary for a senior royal, framing her duty as a mother not as a sidebar, but as central to her humanity. William's support in this is absolute. Their most powerful emotional moments are often triangulated through their children, a shared smile at a toddler's wave, a united front of reassurance. They are building a new emotional vocabulary for the monarchy, one where duty and affection are not in opposition, but in alignment. To assume that these moments are purely spontaneous would be naive. In an institution as strategic as the monarchy, the public presentation of feeling is carefully considered. William and Kate, advised by a modernized communications team, understand that in an age of social media and authenticity, calculated vulnerability is a powerful tool. Their groundbreaking 2021 video call with midwives during the pandemic, where they both listened, visibly moved, to harrowing stories from the front lines, was emotional diplomacy. It showed empathy as a form of leadership. Kate's Hold Still photography project, which gave a platform to the nation's pandemic emotions, positioned her not as a remote figure, but as a curator of collective feeling. William's passionate, unwavering advocacy on mental health, spearheading initiatives like Heads Together, is a direct channeling of his personal trauma into public purpose. He is not just a patron, he is a protagonist in the story, admitting that he too needed to process his grief.
This is a stark departure from the never complain, never explain ethos. They are explaining, subtly, through feeling. They are showing the work, the emotional labor of modern royalty. A tearful moment at a hospice, a shared look of concern at a community center, the laughter as they try a new sport together on a visit. Each is a brick in the construction of a relatable, emotionally intelligent brand. It is a survival strategy for a post-Diana, post-Meghan and Harry, post-The Crown world, where the monarchy must justify its existence through human connection, not just divine right. The weight of the future. The most profound emotional current running through their partnership now is the pressure of the impending future. With the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, a 70-year chapter of steadfast stability closed. Charles III's reign is one of transition and consolidation. William and Kate are no longer future king and queen. They are the palpable, imminent future of the institution. Every emotional moment they share is now viewed through this prism. The warmth between them is scrutinized as the foundation of the next reign. Their ability to appear both steadfast and sympathetic is analyzed as the key to the monarchy's continuity. The pressure is unimaginable. To be flawless parents, perfect partners, global diplomats, and national figureheads, all while grieving a beloved grandmother and preparing to one day carry the ultimate weight of the crown. This is what made that simple, tired moment on the tarmac so resonant. It was a pause before the next march. It was the look of two people who know the road ahead is long and arduous, but who know, fundamentally, that they will not walk it alone. And that shared exhaustion was an unspoken promise. Whatever comes, we face it together. Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, are not staging a loud rebellion. There's no manifesto, no startling rupture. Theirs is a quiet revolution of feeling. They're demonstrating that strength can reside in partnership, that duty can be infused with empathy, and that a modern monarchy can have a heartbeat. Their most powerful emotional moments are not the grand, tearful speeches, but the quiet interludes, the supportive hand on the small of a back during a walkabout, the shared joke that lights up both their faces, the united protective stance around their children. They're reclaiming emotion for the House of Windsor, not as a weakness that led to scandal, but as the very source of its resilience. They are showing that the crown, for all its jewels and history, is ultimately carried on the shoulders of two human beings, and its greatest power may lie not in its sovereignty, but in its solidarity.